As numerous individuals continue attempting to comprehend the recent developments involving Shannon Sharpe, it appears that Sharpe's former associate, Ebony K. Williams, is no longer withholding her views and is instead making it abundantly clear that Sharpe's ongoing controversies are deeply concerning. During a recent installment of her podcast Holding Court, the host, who is also an attorney, delivered a sobering dose of reality for ESPN's newest high-profile personality, who currently finds himself at the epicenter of sexual assault allegations brought forth by a young female accuser. According to Williams, from her informed perspective, Sharpe's alleged sexual involvement with a 19-year-old individual borders dangerously close to pedophilia, and she believes such behavior ought not to be dismissed or ignored. To quote her directly, "Allow me to be absolutely unambiguous, pedophilia cannot and should not be characterized as one of your personal proclivities. I possess a stronger understanding of legal frameworks than most, and I have the academic credentials to substantiate that claim. But what is widely known about statutory law is that it is drafted within legislative bodies and reflects a general social agreement. The fact that this young woman is 19, and the age of legal consent in the majority of U.S. states is 18, simply places her marginally above that legal boundary. In my assessment, 19 qualifies as a threshold age, so yes, by the precise wording of the statute, you may be technically in the clear. However, this is not a matter of a 25-year-old engaging with a 19-year-old, nor is it a case of a 35-year-old, or even a 45-year-old. We are discussing a 56-year-old man. And for me, not speaking for the government, if a man of that age were involved with my 19-year-old daughter, the response would be unequivocal, absolutely not. Your so-called preference does not get to include pedophilia." Williams and Sharpe, as previously mentioned, had a professional relationship, as Williams temporarily served as a guest moderator for 3 episodes of Skip and Shannon, Undisputed on FS1 between 2018 and 2020. Since that period, Sharpe would go on to part ways with the network following a very public falling out with former co-host Skip Bayless, eventually transitioning to ESPN. Now, according to Williams, she is of the opinion that Sharpe's tenure with Disney-backed ESPN may be nearing its conclusion in light of this latest lawsuit. "We have a tendency to grant professional athletes certain allowances and forgive them for some behaviors. However, when you, as a black man, assume a position as one of the central public figures representing the Walt Disney Company, which includes characters such as Tinkerbell, Snow White, Cinderella, and Mickey Mouse, you must be entirely deluded if you believe that level of conduct can coexist with that image. All the while, consumers of this vast global, multi-million-dollar enterprise are expected to reconcile or attempt to block out the imagery of your visibly large, older black self participating in explicit conduct, vulgar language, and self-described sodomy with a young, adolescent, white female. You must be absolutely out of your mind if you think that is acceptable. You simply cannot behave in that manner." Williams would subsequently elaborate on her statements in response to Stephen Smith's commentary on the situation, offering her perspective on how Disney as a corporation might react to Sharpe's involvement. For Sharpe, many critics, including Ebony K. Williams, are voicing disapproval of the Club Shay Shay host amid his escalating troubles. However, according to Stephen Smith, much of the backlash appears to be driven by jealousy. In a recent interview with Big Boy's Neighborhood, Smith asserted that a metaphorical target was placed squarely on Shannon Sharpe's back following his highly publicized and successful interview with comedian Cat Williams in 2024, suggesting that individuals are now shifting allegiances against him.
The zest with which people are willing to pounce on him, and it's like, listen, people have been after him since he did Cat Williams. I'm talking about the zest with which they do it. If I sit up there and I'm friends with Big Boy, I'm a contemporary colleague with Big Boy, right? And Big Boy get in trouble. It's one thing for me to be on the air and going like this, yeah, you know, I mean, this is what happened to Big Boy. And it's another thing in time, you'd be like, yeah, you see what happened to Big Boy?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you just see that, and you see a joy that some people are having in going at him.
At the moment,
Sharpe continues to produce and release his podcasts Club Shay Shay and Nightcap, although he has since relinquished his role at ESPN. Let's engage further on this issue. Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section below. Do you agree with Ebony K. Williams' criticism concerning the details emerging from Shannon Sharpe's legal suit involving a 19-year-old OnlyFans content creator? And do you believe that Sharpe's public unraveling is being exacerbated by jealousy or resentment? For continued updates in comedy, culture, and sports, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.